So 25 years in the Canadian Armed Forces. How did that happen? What pulled you there and what was your motivation to get inside?
Um, Growing up, I had interest in various things. Uh, Policing and military were high up on my list. I used to go to the Abbotsford International Air Show every year when it was big. I'd do a little bit of photography with the film camera then, but I loved the displays that were put on by the different aerobatics teams. And of course, the Canadian Snowbirds always had a good show. So that got some of my interest going, and of course, Top Gun was big during that time too, right? So I
Yeah.
would have loved to go in and be a pilot, but that's not the way the direction was going for me. Um, but I had that interest there. I looked at policing career, looked at the military, and um, found out that I could get into the reserves in the military for a little bit in the infantry, and maybe work my way into the military police or just get some general life experience and go another route. And what I did was, after a couple of years in the reserves, the opportunity came along to go into the infantry and the regular force army, um, with the option later on to switch over to the military police, which is sort of what I was looking at.
Okay.
So after several years, I managed to transfer into the military police, and that's where all my tours came from, and had experiences um, that really I wouldn't have got in any other way. Traveled to so many different corners of the world on short taskings. Saw so many different people introduced to different cultures. Uh, It it was interesting. It was fun a lot of times, and it was something like I say I couldn't have got those experiences if I stuck in Canada just doing a traditional job, right? So I really enjoyed my time, and now that I'm retired from there, I'm glad that I've done it. But it's also takes a lot out of you to put all that time in, and it's nice to be home. It also takes a lot out of your family. So I'm lucky, really supportive spouse, and my kids understood when I was growing up, or when they were growing up. Um, that there wasn't as much connection as I would have liked, but we've got a great relationship now, and the future's looking good.
Yeah, you just hung out with your son a few days back. That's phenomenal. What did 25 years in the armed forces cost you? In the sense that what did you have to sacrifice? What do you think you missed out on? Yeah.
It certainly was hard on relationships, and I've got all sorts of aches and pains that come from years of carrying heavy equipment, jumping on and off things, and doing all sorts of crazy things, right? So it's cost me some there. I've got a couple minor pains that still bother me to this day from back to that time, but um, really, it cost a connection. Uh, my family, my parents, and that I didn't see nearly as much during those years as I would have liked. I know it was quite hard, particularly on my mom having me separated so far away. When I was married, it was hard in that relationship, put strain being away, because it's not just when you go away, it's the training. You're constantly going away for training. When I was doing the military policing side of it, for a significant portion, I was an investigator, and that had me traveling a lot. And for me personally, those were great experiences. For my family, not so much, because on the drop of a dime, it was, yeah, we need you somewhere else. And a couple hours later, I'm on a plane and gone, right? Um,
Right.
so, so it was challenging that way. So it did cost, um, personal relationships, is the biggest area. And somewhat, like I say, the some of the health issues that come along with it. But again, the experiences that were gained there were just something incredible that I'm glad to have had.
Wow. Yeah. Let's talk about your gains from the 25 years of service. How did that shape you? I mean, I know you as you are today. I've known you for a few years, and as I mentioned in the intro, I think you're a rock solid guy. I've never seen you phased, never seen you shaken. I don't see you getting carried away with anybody's talk or even propaganda. So I'm guessing the military played a role in all that. But what did you gain from the military? As in, of course, the gains. And also, if you didn't go, how different would you be today?
I will start with some gains. It definitely taught me to be able to rely on myself, as well as to rely on a team. There were various times where what I was doing was very individual based. Um, I had support somewhere in the background, but for anything immediate, I was making big decisions, and I had to know that the training I got, the experience I had, all worked together and gave me everything I needed. And I had a trust in myself that I would make an appropriate decision. At the same time, there's trust in the team. I knew if I was doing something, the people around me, the ones that were close to me, I could trust with literally with my life, and I could trust with anything. So it helped in both those ways. It also, I was lucky because I traveled to many different places, different countries around the world, experienced different cultures, some of it for a very short time, other for months on end. So I got to experience things that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. Um, I don't think I would have traveled to a lot of the places. I got to go to China and actually briefly out to the Great Wall. I was over in India, um, England, Belgium, various places in Europe, Japan. There were a whole number of places that I got to go, either as a result of an investigation or a deployment, all up the east coast of Africa, through a lot of countries in the Middle East. Spent a lot of time in the UAE. Excuse me. So I saw what different cultures were like, how they interacted with each other outside of the North American environment, as well as how they interacted with Westerners, if you want to call that. And it really gives you a different viewpoint when you can see all that. Um, I'd like to think that before that, my mind wasn't closed to things in that, but this certainly broadened it, and gave me a much better understanding of why a lot of the things in different cultures are the way they are. And I mean, there's many more places and experiences that I'd still like to have and broaden even more, but it gave me even more curiosity to keep searching and seeing what else there is.